up front of the.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I've worked for FedEx Express 24 years. I don't like to be late. I had a conflict, but our service level is 98%, and we made it today. You cannot get to know me in the 10 or 15 minutes here that we're going to have today. Each of us split up. I gave you a handout. Pictures always worth 1,000 words. 2 years ago, I ran for sheriff of Sullivan County. In my opinion, I was illegally and unconstitutionally taken off the ballots. It's been a real quiet secret here in Sullivan County. That is my primary reason for running for your state senate. I want 2 years to go to national and fix 3 items. I want to pass constitutional carry. It's languished down here in the state legislature for the last 3 years. I want background checks on permit holders every year. I own gun runners out in Longview. If we did a background on your permit every year, that would save you the $10 gun tax. And that's all it is a $10 gun tax. Instead of doing your background once every 4 years when you renew, you need to have a background every year. That's just common sense. And lastly, and I'm selfish, I want to change TCA 88102. The legislature took away a fundamental right from everybody in Tennessee to vote for sheriff for an unconstitutional law, and I did not want to sue I'll just leave it there. Thank you for your time.
The first question that we pose to the panel here, you have 2 minutes to answer. Again, the yellow red cards is to please explain your philosophy of government. Mr. Shipley, we'll start with you and come down the road.
First of all, government works best closest to those it governs. Responsibility of government, George Washington said it best. George Washington said, "You, the people, are ultimately the givers or the takers." George Washington went on to say that for a short period of time in our form of government, that you give the authority of those whom you elect to represent you to run the government. It also says you have the power to remove those people from time to time should they not do the things that need to be done. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Government works best close to those it governs. So for those of you who are sitting in this room today, you're doing your job. You're vetting candidates who are applying for a job.
I think it's a line from a commercial somewhere. Less is more. What's the role of government? To do things that we cannot do individually, and that's very limited. We can't build roads, interstates, we can't build fire departments, police forces. That's the primary role of a government. Should we be doing everything else? No. Frankly, I think that's something that is taken away from people because we have taken away individuals' accountability and responsibility to do and succeed. So the role of government is frankly very limited. And I'll tell you across the board, so we shouldn't judge legislators based on how many bills they presented, how many pieces of legislation they sponsored. I don't know if you know that, I don't know if I talked about it months ago, in Tennessee, in the last legislative session, about 3,000 bills were filed. I'll tell you, how many people think we need 3,000 new laws in Tennessee? And I won't see a hand go up. We need less. And frankly, we need to take away, frankly, the restrictions and the regulations that government puts on people. We're trying to grow a business, start a business, expand a business. That's the role, and it's a very limited one.
I'm certainly a firm believer that the governor's least governs best. I don't think you're going to find a lot of difference among the 4 of us about our philosophy as Republicans in state government. However, I do want to say, as your next state senator, I'm going to be accessible to you with passion. I want to announce right now, for the 3 counties that this district represents, I'm going to have 3 separate oversight committees in Carter, Johnson, and Sullivan County that consist of both Republicans and Democrats. Oversight Committee, what I mean, I work for you, the constituents. I want to hear what's on your mind and your concerns. Am I interested in going down and passing a bunch of new laws? No, I'm interested in keeping government out of our lives, but also listening to those stakeholders and those constituents, whether Republican, Democrat, registered voter, or not registered. I'm interested in serving them and listening to them. As a new state senator, in my first year in office, I'm going to be doing a lot of listening and a lot of note-taking and less talking. That's the type of philosophy that I have going in as your next state senator. Thank you.